Well, somewhat expected, like I mentioned last week. This past week being New Year's and holidays and Christmas, we didn't have any time to work on the Betsy Ross project. So I figured what better time to do a quick walk around and a shop tour and update you guys on just what has changed and has not changed here at the shop. So let me show you what we got going on this year. So the first thing that I'll do is I'll give you just a quick walk around of the interior of the shop, and then we'll go around the outside a little bit and I'll talk about what might have changed and what hasn't changed, and I'll show you what we're hoping to get done this year. Here we go. In the back left corner, this was a makeshift shelf that I have pulled out of the junk, and it has obviously collected all kinds of junk. I'd really like to get organized here. I've started that process. I got this hanging bin container. That's what I'm going to be working on today a little bit, is putting some of these bins up, trying to get some fasteners off of that shelf onto some bins. We have some parts from the Betsy Ross project. Those are the differential covers that I never installed. Some speakers. There's a door project that needs paint. This was a set of folding doors for dump trailer that I need to get paint on them. It's been 6 months since I started that project. Back here we got some more bins and organization stuff. We're not really good at organization. What happens is a lot of times projects come in and I start working on them, and I just don't take the time to clean or to prep. Really what I need to do is I need to get all of this junk on the better shelving and storage areas, maybe an external storage utility or facility or something like that. I used to keep a lot of it in the basement, and some of it can go back down there, but most of it is Jeep parts. So when I need them, having to walk all the way up to the basement to get them gets a little bit exhausting. Alright, so that was the back corner there. Over here we have the tubing bender, and then another just shelf of junk. I really would like to start getting this cleaned up. Over there's some leftover scrap metal and some more Jeep parts. This is the welding table that we built this year. I don't know if you didn't see that video on the channel, go check it out. I'll try to put a link in the description. It's a two-piece welding table on wheels. So we built that out of scrap. That's a new tool this year. That saw, we bought it when we built this table. Love it. It's an awesome saw, cuts metal. This I'm going to end up mounting vise on it, and some seats so that I can weld on that table. But it also acts like an anchor or a base for this table, so that it gives it some ballast. This is new this year too, I think. I don't remember exactly. That might have been here last year, but that's a TIG welder. I've been learning how to weld. Obviously, learning, but not getting good at it. Alright, tubing bender hasn't done a whole lot this year. We have our air dryer, that was here this year already. Not a whole lot has changed in this corner. We got the plasma cutter. This is a bandsaw. You've probably seen that. You step on here. There, you got that. And then this is my table grinder. That's on wheels. I kind of like to come over here and I step on this, hold it still, and then I can grind stuff on there. This is all one big mess. There's the old faithful welder. And that's what I'm going to be doing today, is cleaning up a lot of this stuff so we can start using this area. This is another area over here in the corner that has just collected a whole bunch of junk. Horizontal surfaces just tend to collect things. Got to get that cleaned up too. There's the grill for Betsy Ross. This is new this year. A baker's rack, so that we can organize a project. So for example, like these are parts from the Betsy Ross project. Again, I've been trying to get organized, but now we're making a little bit of progress there with that, because that project is somewhat organized. That's the radiator for it. And then over here, this has kind of been like a workbench, but as you can see, my daughter was complaining because of of the tools. She's like, all he does with his power tools is he just tosses them in a pile on the bench. It's terrible. He needs to organize them. I'm like, yeah, I do. I was like, I really need to organize my power tools. She's like, you need to hang them up. I'm like, on what? The wall? And what happens when I move? When I move this bench? So I've got to figure out. I got to figure out a way to clean that up. Yes, I know, Mara. I know. I definitely need to do that. It's mostly a workbench, but it also has some junk collected around the edges. This is the main toolbox, obviously. This is where most of my tools reside. This is a new tool this year, if you didn't see that on the channel. That's an OBD2 scanner. It's pretty decent. I need to get that up off the ground. Here's our primary source of heat. This is, I don't like it. I'd like to get the, you can see in the back, I think I mentioned that before. I have pipes in the floor for floor heat, but I don't have a heat source for it yet. And there's the Betsy Ross motor. That's the old one. It's coming out. The old transmission. We have some tires for my bike. I did a minor refresh on my motorcycle this year, and ended up changing out the tires. Some spare metal from when I did the walls of the shop. That's a headliner from my Jeep. We got the shop press, and we're back around to the back side of the Betsy Ross Jeep now. So that is a quick look at the inside of the shop. Let me take you outside and I'll show you what the outside looks like. Now, one of the added benefits of having metal walls is you can just magnetize things to it. Okay, outside. Luckily we're doing this during the daylight this time, so we have ability to see out here. There's the blast cabinet. Makes a lot of dust, so I bring it out here. It does get a little bit wet, so I have to change the media sometimes, but my hope is that I can close this lean-to in sometime soon. We have those bins are filled with sawdust for drying up oil in the shop floor. That's like kind of an oil junk area where I put all my waste oil. This is a barrel of waste oil. That's metal scrap. This is empty. Yeah. It's got some various piles of junk out here. I should really embarrassed to show you that, but that's the area outside. My hope was to get this cleaned up this year and get it concreted and then get rid of all this junk so that I can make a nice little bay out here to work in. But that just didn't happen. I just kept on getting other projects, taking my time, other projects. So this is an area that I am constantly cleaning up and then allowing to collect junk again. So we'll get there. It rarely stays like that for very long before I get at it and clean it up. There's my snow plow. And then this is the back shed. I know that we've been over this a couple of times on the channel, but I'm just going to show you my air compressor again. There's the air compressor. There's the feed line. There's a drain. I brought the drain out so that I can just pull that valve when I want to drain it. There's a lot more junk back here. Yeah, it's a mess. back here, yeah, that's another project back here. Hopefully we can get to this soon enough. This is an old Cherokee that belongs to my brother-in-law. We had a minor fire in there that we've got to get. I thought we had it sorted out, but it started on fire, so we pushed it back here and... Oh, is it locked? Oh, it's locked. Oh, that's not good. Kids must have been in it. Oh well. Yeah, that sucker's junk. We'll see. But, oh, we got a flat. Oh well. This is a boiler that I was thinking about using for the floor heat, but I don't think I'm going to do that. You can kind of see what my neighbors see, which is a giant mess. Again, I'm always cleaning this up, but it's always getting messy again. Boat motor. That is my old motor for the boat. That's been sitting there a while. You can see it. That belonged to my grandfather, and we have not gotten around to fixing it yet. And we got some storage things I'm working on there. That's my dad's Jeep. Need to get this cleaned up and welded in. We'll get there. And then you guys have probably seen the donor Jeep. This is the motor for the Betsy Ross project. The truck. Spare tire for the trailer. Some plywood. And the cap for the truck. And that's pretty much the outside of it. Did I leave this faucet on here? Kids must have been messing with that too. Yeah, the donor got hit pretty hard. In the back corner there, you can see the doors are overlapped. But everything else is in pretty good shape. Gotta get rid of that. That's the scrap metal. And that brings us back inside. Well, that's it. Thank you guys so much for stopping out. I hope that you can join us this year, 2023, for countless more projects, and maybe this year, at the end of this year when I shoot the 2024 shop tour, I'll have some of these messes cleaned up. We can have a little bit more of an organized view. Maybe even have some floor heating by then. And we'll see. But that's it for now. Thanks so much for watching. We'll see you again next week when we work more on the Betsy Ross project.